Mercedes-AMG has well and truly embraced the age of electrification, from its wild F1-powered AMG 1 hypercar to this, the all-new C43 sedan. Let's check it out. Now let's begin with the positives of the C43. And of course we have to mention that this car is really quick. It takes around 4.6 seconds for the 0 to 100 km/h sprint. That is around a tenth quicker than the old C43. Mercedes-AMG also claims it is its most advanced small performance sedan it's ever built. And that's because, well, because of what lurks beneath this bonnet. Now, what do we mean about big power? Well, we mean 300 kilowatts. Wait, John, wait just there. Didn't the A45 produce 310 kilowatts? You're right, Mercedes has actually detuned the A45 engine for the C43, but it's got a lot of ultra cool technology. Things like dual stage fuel injection and an F1 designed turbocharger. It's really cool. So what Mercedes-AMG F1 team have done, they've given Mercedes-AMG's road car division a little hand, and it involves bolting on an electric motor onto a turbo to ensure it spools up really quickly at low speed. The result? Absolutely zero lag. There's also far less exotic 48-volt mild hybrid technology that, well, we see on everything nowadays, from a small hatch to a big limo. But in this case, it has a tiny 0.9 kilowatt-hour battery, and it's got a belt-driven starter generator. Boring, right? But anyway, it means it can average around 8.8 litres per 100 kilometres, which is a big improvement from the old 10.5-ish for the last car. But forget all that, just look at this thing. When designers were styling the C43, I think they made the deliberate choice to narrow the gap between it and its bigger brother, the upcoming C63. And that explains why we think this car looks kind of awesome. Some of the changes over the regular 2206 include the normal vertical slatted grille, this really cool sort of F1 style blade here, and there's even active aero in there as well, so these flaps sort of shut for better aero at high speed. Now, come around, I'll show you some more details. New turbo electrified fender badges, and what do you think of these aero alloys? As standard you get 18s, optional 19s, or these 20-inch big boys. There's also enormous brakes in there. I think these are 370mm rotors, huge, and 6-piston calipers. Further down the car, you get these carbon fibre door mirror caps that look a bit fake. There's also these nifty side skirts. And at the back of the car, you get these. Are they fake? They're fake. Forget about that. You get a little boot spoiler, although this one seems to be the optional carbon fibre. The obligatory dual rear exhaust tailpipes, and what looks like a fake diffuser, but apparently it works. Inside, as you'd expect, the C43, well, it has one of the finest cabins in the business because it carries over most of what the C-Class already offers. With the C43, of course, it adds different graphics for the dashboard, different graphics for the infotainment system. It's got this nifty sports AMG steering wheel that is also available in cars like the SL43. And it's got this sort of cascading infotainment system. It all looks really cool in here. Oh, this car also has a pair of optional AMG performance seats that have these really cool bolsters on here that hold you into place, but does lack a bit of support low down. But overall, yeah, it's difficult to fault this car. The C43 really is one of those cars that's defined by the technology it uses. Now, for those worried about the switch to the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo, remember the C63, this car's bigger brother, will also use it as the building block for its P3 plug-in hybrid powertrain. It's also quite a wonderful engine in cars like the A45. It even sounds, well, quite remarkable in the smaller C43. I mean, it's both refined and a bit cheeky. Another key element to the new powertrain is Mercedes-AMG has switched to its 9-speed MCT automatic transmission. Now the MCT swaps out a regular torque converter for a pair of wet clutches. And it means, for the first time in the C43, you can do a proper race launch control start. But at lower speeds, there is a price to pay for the switch to the MCT gearbox and its refinement. Despite offering these really scintillating down changes and up changes, it adds so much jerkiness and driveline shunt at lower speeds. I mean, you really will wish for a traditional torque converter. Here we are, coming up to a set of traffic lights, and you'll hear it clonk down the gears. It's not impressive. Another strange element to the C43 is it's quite inconsistent to its power delivery. One element of the C43's handling repertoire we just cannot complain about are the serious stopping power from these brakes. Up front, Mercedes-AMG has used an enormous 370mm rotor, while at the rear, 320. And it just means, however hard you push, the C43 can always rein in your over-exuberance. Like the last generation, the new C43 AMG comes with all-wheel drive, with a 69% rearward bias. But even on roads like this, it's not that much fun to drive. I think file this one under safe and secure. Push too hard, and you're never rewarded with anything other than understeer. So to sum up what you think about the all-new C43 is, well, it looks sensational. The cabin is wonderful in here. It's got loads of great tech that really adds to the experience of ownership. But that said, we wish it had a proper gearbox that would be smoother when you're not in the mood. And we kind of wish the drive would have been closer to what we expect the new C63 will be. But clever Mercedes-AMG, they know what they're doing. They're going to separate the two characters as before. This is the sporty but a bit more refined, and the C63, well, that's going to be balls out, absolute crazy as before. Would you buy one over an Audi S4 or a BMW M340i? Well, you know what? We're not sure, because the C43 is far from perfect. But that said, the more time you spend with this car, the more, well, it's hard not to fall for its charms. Now, Mercedes-Benz Australia thinks the C43 should arrive around Q1 of 2023. And when it does, expect a big hike in prices over the outgoing V6. We're thinking it could be as much as $130,000. Now, it's stacked up against cars like the Audi S4 and the BMW M340i. It remains a fascinating proposition. But is it the best? I think we'll have to find out with a group test, because where we're sitting, yeah, it's far from perfect.